సెంటర్ ఫర్ సెల్యులర్ మాలిక్యులర్ బయాలజీ. ఇక్కడ ఏంటంటే అనేక రకాల పరిశోధనలు జరుగుతూ ఉంటాయి. సో ఈ మధ్యకాలంలో మనం చూస్తూ ఉన్నాం కదా, వై క్రోమోజోమ్ మిస్సింగ్, మగపిల్లల సంఖ్య తగ్గిపోతుంది, ఇక ముందు ముందు మగపిల్లలే ఉండరు అనేది. మరి దీనిలో వాస్తవం ఎంత? ఇక్కడ చీఫ్ సైంటిస్టులు ఏం చెప్తున్నారో వారి మాటల్లోనే తెలుసుకుందాం రండి. మగపిల్లల సంఖ్య తగ్గిపోతుంది, ఇక ముందు ముందు మగజాతి అసలు అనేది ఉండదు అనేది ఒక ఆర్టికల్ సైంటిస్ట్ నుంచి వచ్చిందని సర్క్యులేట్ అవుతూ ఉంది. సో దీనిలో నిజం ఎంత, దీని గురించి సైంటిస్టులు ఏం చెప్తున్నారు వివరాలు తెలుసుకుందాం. ఈరోజు మనం సిసిఎంబిలో ఉన్నాము. మనతో పాటు డాక్టర్ తంగరాజ్ గారు ఉన్నారు. ఆయన సిసిఎంబిలో జేసీ బోస్ ఫెలో అండ్ డైరెక్టర్గా, ఫార్మర్ డైరెక్టర్గా సిడిఎఫ్టీలో ఉన్నారు. సో వారిని అడిగి పూర్తి వివరాలు తెలుసుకుందాం. సార్ నమస్తే. సార్
నమస్కారం.
సార్, ఇప్పుడు ఒకటి సర్క్యులేట్ అవుతుంది వార్త, అది నిజం ఏంటో తెలుసుకోవాలంటే అది సైంటిస్టులనే అడగాలి ఖచ్చితంగా. సో ఈ వై క్రోమోజోమ్ మిస్ అవుతుంది, ఇంకా భూమి మీద మగపిల్లలే పుట్టరు ముందు ముందు, ఇప్పటికే చాలా తగ్గిపోయారు, వై క్రోమోజోమ్ అనే సైజ్ కూడా తగ్గిపోతుంది అని అంటున్నారు. దీనిలో నిజం ఎంత అసలు? వాట్ ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ ద ట్రూత్?
So part of it is true. So Y chromosome size is reducing. It's not today. It took for last several millions of years. Initially there was no difference between X and Y chromosome. We're all size wise the same. Over a period of time during the course of evolution, the Y chromosome started accumulating a repetitive sequence. That means the non-coding sequence, or generally we call it as junk DNA. ಅದು ಅಕ್ಯುಮುಲೇಟ್ ಆಯಿತು. When it is accumulating the junk DNA, there is a tendency to delete on its own. Like for example, in the school or college, the similar minded students, they will have a group, right? Similarly, the sequence on the same chromosome try to recombine, join, and try to delete whatever is in between those two same sequences. So that's how it started deleting. And sometime if it is deleted in the non-coding sequence, it is not going to have any impact. But if it is deleted in the gene where it is responsible for spermatogenesis, because that is essential for male reproductive system. So therefore, if that is deleted, then the individual who carry that Y chromosome cannot transmit that Y chromosome to the next generation. Therefore, that's the end of that Y chromosome, the shortened chromosome. So really we don't have to bother about that. It's not going to happen today. So whatever the size we are seeing, the Y chromosome, to reduce from the X chromosome size took several millions of years. So people have, the scientists have predicted that the Y chromosome might be might be lost or disappeared in 11 million years. So it's not going to happen today. That's only the prediction. So my suggestion to the viewers is that we don't have to really worry, because the chromosome which is reducing in size, which is essential for either male sex determination, that's the SRY gene, or genes responsible for spermatogenesis, if that is deleted, that Y chromosome is not going to go to the next generation. That's the end of it. Only the healthy Y chromosome going to go to the next generation. So therefore, the question of
there is no chance to
right elimination of Y chromosome or diminishing of the Y chromosome or totally eliminating the males is not going to arise. And also you can consider the number of populations, number of individual in the world, worldwide is enormous, right? It's not a small number of species or endangered species where only few numbers are there. When it is happening, there's a possibility of vanishing of that particular species. But the human population is distributed across the world, right? So it's, you don't have to really worry that the male is going to
ఎస్ ఇది సైంటిస్ట్లే చెప్పారు, వై క్రోమోజోమ్ ముందు ముందు ఉండదు, ఇది సైంటిస్ట్లే చెప్పారని చెప్తున్నారు. సో ఇప్పుడు మనం మాట్లాడుకున్నట్లయితే వై క్రోమోజోమ్ సైజ్ అనేది తగ్గిపోయింది ఇప్పటి వరకు. అంటే ముందు ముందు కూడా సైజ్ అనేది డిక్రీజ్ అవుతుందా, అవుతే ఏం జరుగుతుంది, చాలా చిన్నగా అయిపోతే అసలు ఏం జరుగుతుంది వై క్రోమోజోమ్ సైజ్ తగ్గిపోతే?
No, the Y chromosome, we have genes which are essential for maleness, right? One is the SRY, sex determining region of the Y chromosome. There are large number of genes which are essential for spermatogenesis, to produce a sperm, right? These two are very essential. At least half of the Y chromosome is full of repetitive sequence. In the sense, some sequence repeated randomly for several times, several thousands of times. The deletion, if it happens in the repetitive sequence, there is no impact of that.
Okay.
Only the deletion is either there is a mutation or deletion of SRY. The individual, although carrying the Y chromosome, and the individual may not be the full male in the sense that he cannot reproduce. Okay, the individual will be there, but he cannot reproduce. Similarly, if there is a mutation on the region where genes that are essential for spermatogenesis deleted, again individual appears like a male, but he cannot reproduce because there is no sperm production. Again, that's the end of that chromosome, right? So only the healthy Y is going to be transmitted to the next generation. That keep on happening. On the other side, where the repetitive sequence are there, there's going to be kind of deletion of small portion. Not immediately after every generation, there could be after several generations, there could be small portions deleted. That's not going to have the impact. Overall, after several millions of years, we might see much shorter Y chromosome, but still that might carry the gene essential for making individual as a male, or gene essential for spermatogenesis. Okay. There's also a possibility that there could be a recombination between the chromosomes, where the Y chromosome genes might be transmitted onto the next generation. Okay. But I don't see that's going to happen now, because once it happens, there could be a phenotypic effect of that individual. So individual may not be having a typical male where he can reproduce normally.
అవును, మనం ఇండివిజువల్ని బేస్ చేసుకొని ఇది స్టడీ అంతా చెప్పలేము, వై క్రోమోజోమ్ డిసపియర్ అవుతుంది అనేది చెప్పలేము.
We cannot say, because considering the number of individual worldwide, somebody might have that, but it's not going to be no, in a large number going to be suddenly happen, right? Might happen rarely, but that may not actually transmit to the next generation. Therefore, that's the end of that.
Yes. ఇన్ 100 పీపుల్ ఎంతమందిని చూస్తాము ఇట్లాంటి వై క్రోమోజోమ్ లేని వాళ్ళని మనం ఇప్పుడు వరకు ఉన్న స్టడీస్ ప్రకారం?
It's very, very rare. Okay, there are maybe once you take several thousand. So far, we have identified during the last 2 decades, 2.5 decades, we can say 25 years. So we have recorded maybe around 25 cases, right? So it's very, very rare. Where in addition to the presence of the Y chromosome, where SRY and other genes are properly arranged, a single base mutation on the X chromosome gene called androgen receptor. So that suppress everything, where we have seen presence of the Y chromosome, but the individual typically look like female.
Yes.
So that is very, very rare phenomenon.
Yes.
The SRY, SOX9, androgen receptor gene, and there are several other genes which are essential for male sex determination.
సార్, మీరు ఎన్నో స్టడీస్ చేసుంటారు. ఇప్పుడు ఈ డిఎన్ఏ గురించి కావచ్చు, రకరకాల వాటి గురించి, ఈ జీన్స్‌కి సంబంధించిన వాటి గురించి. అయితే ఇప్పుడు మనం చూస్తూ ఉన్నాం ఏంటంటే, కొన్ని కొన్ని సంవత్సరాల నుంచి సో, ఇన్‌ఫెర్టిలిటీ ఇష్యూస్ అనేవి చాలా పెరిగిపోయాయి. సో, ఎందుకు ఇంత సమస్య అనేది ఇన్‌ఫెర్టిలిటీ అనేది ఇంత ఇష్యూ అవుతుంది? సో, ముందు ముందు అసలు ఎలా ఉండబోతుంది సిట్యుయేషన్ అనేది అసలు?
So over the last 60 years, based on the WHO report, the infertility rate has increased.
Yes.
Actually, there is a study which shows about 50 to 60 years back, the average number of children per woman was around 6. Now it has become 2
Two.
or less than 2.
True.
Okay. This one can imagine that mainly because of various program which government introduced, like family planning and so on. But the increasing number of infertility clinic suggests that there is a real infertility problem. Last 25 years, we have been working to find out what is the genetic cause for the male infertility. And we have seen that at least 1 in every 11 individuals of male infertility carrying the Y chromosome microdeletion. Where I mentioned earlier, there's a region on the Y chromosome which is essential for spermatogenesis. So those regions have been deleted in 1 in every 11 individuals. That's only male infertile individuals having that Y chromosome microdeletion. And our subsequent studies showed that not only the Y chromosome, there are autosomes, X chromosome, and mitochondrial DNA, all responsible for the male infertility. Very recently, we have shown there's a gene on the X chromosome is also responsible for spermatogenesis. But of course, the frequency is very, very less.
సో జనరల్గా లైఫ్ స్టైల్ కూడా దీనికి ఒక కారణం అనుకోవచ్చా?
Yes, lifestyle also is important. Lifestyle, even some of the drugs which we use for treating is there, and our exposure to a different environment, all are responsible for male infertility. But we are concentrating on the genetic aspects of male infertility.
ఎస్. సో దీనికి ఫైనల్గా సొల్యూషన్ అంటే ఏంటి సార్?
The final solution in terms of genetics, so it's very sad to say that for genetic disease, there's not much scope. Although there are gene therapies coming, there's also CRISPR-Cas based technology which can correct, but those are all in the very primitive stage.
ఓకే.
In terms of infertility, there's a possibility that one can take donor sperm, donor's egg, and make use of that.
ఓకే.
Or extreme condition, adaptation.
ఎస్. ఇది హెరిడిటీ లాగా కూడా వస్తుందా ఇట్లా ఇన్ఫెర్టిలిటీ?
It's not adaptation, adoption.
అడాప్షన్. ఇది హెరిడిటీ లాగా కూడా వస్తుందా అంటే ఈ మేల్ ఇన్ఫెర్టిలిటీ అనేది?
Particularly male infertility, there are two aspects. One is if there is any other disease, then the disease for the father or mother carrying the disease, for example, heart disease, or any other include diabetes or any disease. So either father or mother have the disease, they have the mutation, they pass on the mutation to the next generation, they also will have the disease. But in case of infertility, for example, father is infertile, that's the end of that, right?
Yes, yes.
So he is not going to pass the genetic information to the next generation.
Exactly.
So that's the end. So in case of genetics, there's no, as I said, no active treatment. There are possibility, but using different technology, but it's not, it will not work in every cases. So in terms of infertility, this is what happens. So it's not going to go to the next generation. That's end. So using donor sperm in case of male infertility, using donor egg in case of female infertility will certainly will help.
Yes.
If that's not possible, adoption is the best case.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ సార్, చాలా చక్కటి ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ అండి. సో ఈ వై క్రోమోజోమ్ అనేది డిజపేర్ అవుతుంది, కొన్ని రోజుల్లో మగపిల్లలు ఉండరు, ఈ వార్త అనేది చాలా హల్చల్ చేస్తుంది. సైంటిస్టులు చెప్పారు అనగానే ఒకసారి సైంటిస్ట్ని అడిగితే అసలు నిజమేంటనేది తెలుస్తుందని ఇక్కడ వరకు రావడం జరిగింది. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ అండి, చక్కటి ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్. ధన్యవాదాలు.
థ్యాంక్ యూ.